Hello everyone, this is Usama Naga. This is a pediatric intensive review on genetic disorders. My objectives in this presentation: a comprehensive and complete review of genetic disorders covering high-yield facts. By the end of this presentation, you will be comfortable with genetic disorders and board questions. Chromosomal inheritance. 7-year-old child evaluated for achondroplasia presence in the multiple family members. The patient's father and paternal grandmother are also affected. Both males and females in the family have the condition. Which pattern of inheritance best explains this family history? Autosomal recessive, X-linked recessive, autosomal dominant, or mitochondrial inheritance? Correct answer: autosomal dominant. Achondroplasia is transmitted as autosomal dominant, affects both males and females. Autosomal dominant occurs when one gene copy has a DNA mutation that produces the disease. As you see here, both sexes are equally affected. The recurrence risk in autosomal dominant is 50%. Both sexes, as you see here, can transmit the disease to offspring. The disease affects all generations, and no generation is skipped. Every affected child has a parent with the disorder. Examples of autosomal dominant diseases: osteogenesis imperfecta, neurofibromatosis, autosomal dominant polycystic kidney disease, achondroplasia. The non-consanguineous couple brings their 8-month-old son for genetic counseling after his diagnosis with cystic fibrosis. Neither parent has symptoms, and there is no known family history of cystic fibrosis. Parents are asking, what is the risk that our next child will also have cystic fibrosis? 0%, 25%, 50%, or 75%? Correct answer is 25%. Very likely both parents are carriers, and the chance to have another affected child is 25%. Autosomal recessive inheritance occurs when an abnormal gene copy or allele produces the disease only when both gene copies are combined together will produce the disease. As you see here, one copy by itself will give you a carrier but not the disease, and there is a 50% chance to have carrier individual, 25% chance to have affected individual in autosomal recessive inheritance. Autosomal recessive disorder, males and females who have one copy of the mutant autosomal gene are called the carriers, and this can be male or female. This is not a carrier in this case, and this is an affected person. In autosomal recessive inheritance, the males and females are equally affected. Males and females in autosomal recessive inheritance can each transmit copies of the mutated gene. For example, this is a boy, is a carrier transmitting the mutated gene to a girl, and this is a girl transmitting the mutated gene to a girl. Males and females affected with autosomal recessive diseases have mutations in both gene copies. Each one of those is carrying two affected genes. All offspring of affected individuals will be carriers. Consanguinity or marriage between relatives increases the risk of having offspring with autosomal recessive disorders. Examples of autosomal recessive diseases: cystic fibrosis, spinal muscular atrophies, autosomal recessive polycystic kidney disease. A mother has a son with hemophilia A, asks about the risk in a future pregnancy, assuming that she is a carrier and the father is unaffected. What is the chance that her next child will be a boy with hemophilia A? 50%, 25%, 75%, or 100%? The risk to have an affected child in the future pregnancy is 25%. But remember, the risk among the sons only is 50%, the chance to have one son healthy and one son is affected. X-linked recessive inheritance occurs when the single X chromosome copy in a male is abnormal. In X-linked recessive cases, males are more commonly and more severely affected than females. Female carriers are generally unaffected or affected more mildly than males. Male carriers. The future risk in pregnancy to have an affected child when the father is not affected, 25%, 25% to have a carrier daughter, 25% to have a healthy son, 25% to have an affected son, 25% to have non-carrier daughter. Affected males, like in this case, having 100% chance each daughter will be a carrier. The affected males will have zero chance to transmit the disease to their boys because the affected male must transmit the Y chromosome to the boys, but the X chromosome, the affected chromosome X, will be transmitted to the girls to be carriers, but the boys will be healthy. Examples of X-linked recessive diseases: hemophilia A, Duchenne and Becker muscular dystrophy, Hunter syndrome, Fabry syndrome. Mitochondrial inheritance is maternal inheritance transmitted from eggs, not sperms. So the affected female will transmit the disease to all her offspring, while this boy, this male, is not transmitting the disease to his offspring, while this female again is transmitting this disease to all her offspring. Examples of mitochondrial inheritance: Leigh disease, Kearns-Sayre syndrome, Melas syndrome, myoclonic epilepsy, and red ragged fibers disease. Indications for genetic testing: symptoms like intellectual disability or autism, especially with family history of intellectual disability, dysmorphology, and or multiple clinical anomalies, particularly with growth delays or developmental delays. History of recurrent pregnancy loss, suspicion of a Mendelian disorder, for example autosomal dominant, based on symptoms or family history. Full-term newborn is evaluated shortly after birth for generalized hypotonia and distinctive facial features. On exam, the infant has up-slanting palpebral fissures, epicanthal folds, and brush field spots on the iris. Cardiac auscultation reveals a systolic murmur. The infant also has a single transverse palmar creases brachydactyly, a wide gap between the first and second toes. Which diagnosis best explains these findings? A. Trisomy 18, Fragile X syndrome, Trisomy 21, or Credisha syndrome. The answer: Trisomy 21 or Down syndrome. Autosomal aneuploidies. Autosomal aneuploidies. Aneuploidy means abnormal number, and here abnormal number of autosome. The first and most common example: trisomy 21 or Down syndrome, second trisomy 18 or Edwards syndrome, third trisomy 13 or Patau syndrome. We'll start with Down syndrome. Down syndrome is the most common example of autosomal aneuploidies. If you look at this karyotype from 1 to 22, these are all autosomes. If you look closely here at chromosome 21, you will see an additional chromosome. So this is autosomal aneuploidy in chromosome 21. You have 3 abnormal number instead of 2. So this is trisomy 21 or Down syndrome. These two are sex chromosomes, XY. So this is a boy with Down syndrome or trisomy 21. Trisomy 21 non-disjunction is the most common type of trisomy 21, 94% of the cases. Robertsonian translocations is 3.3% of the cases. Mosaicism, which is a mix between normal cells and the trisomy 21, is 2.4% of the cases. Parental risk of recurrence: to have another child with trisomy 21 after birth of an affected child with Down syndrome is 1% plus the maternal age-related risk. Maternal age-related risk, for example, if you have a mother, her age 40 to 44 years of age, her risk is 1 in 100. If the mother age is over 45 years of age, her risk is 1 in 50. Risk of recurrence in cases of Robertsonian translocation: if the mother is 1421 translocation carrier, the risk is 10 to 15%. If the mother is 2021 translocation carrier, the risk of recurrence is 100%. Clinical manifestations of Down syndrome: intellectual disability, hypotonia. Hypotonia is very important because it may be the only obvious presentation after birth in cases of Down syndrome. Developmental delay, up-slanting palpebral fissures. Speckled iris or brush field spots. Be familiar with both in cases of Down syndrome: speckled iris or brush field spots. Brush field spots, that are whitish spots in a ring-like configuration at the surface of the iris. So again, speckled iris or brush field spots, Down syndrome. Single palmar creases can be normal in normal population but commonly associated with Down syndrome. Clinodactyly. wide gap between great and second toes, endocardial cushion defect. It is important to be familiar with conditions associated with Down syndrome. Hypothyroidism. Start by regular newborn screen, then order TSH and free T4 at 6 months, 12 months, then yearly after. Screening for celiac in children with Down syndrome. Screen for celiac starting at age of 3, then periodically, even with no symptoms. Of course, at any time if the child is showing symptoms like abdominal pain or weight loss. And screen with IgA and tissue transglutaminase IgA antibodies. This is an X-ray of a newborn with Trisomy 21 and history polyhydramnios presenting with bilious vomiting. As you see here in this X-ray, there is distension of the stomach with gas, and there is a duodenal bulb here in this location. So you have double bubble sign. What is the most likely diagnosis? Duodenal atresia presents with bilious vomiting in an infant with Down syndrome. X-ray will show double bubble sign, absent of gas distally. Remember, is an important association with Down syndrome. This X-ray was ordered because this infant failed to pass meconium in the first 48 hours. As you see, the left side of the abdomen here is distended with gas. In the barium contrast enema, fluoroscopic barium contrast enema, you will see the sigmoid colon is huge, is very distended. And you see transient point here, and the rectum smaller than the sigmoid colon. What is the most likely diagnosis? Hirschsprung disease is a common association with Down syndrome. Recommended investigations for all newborns with suspected Down syndrome. Chromosomal study. Order routine blood karyotype. Routine blood karyotype will differentiate between non-disjunction and translocation. 40 to 50% of cases with Down syndrome are associated with cardiac defect. The most common is endocardial cushion defect. So it is important to order an echo, even if there is no murmur, to all newborns with suspected Down syndrome. Routine X-ray screening for atlantoaxial subluxation in asymptomatic children with Down syndrome is not recommended anymore. It is important to know. The recommendation before participation in sports, especially contact sports, it is important to do or perform a neurological examination screening, not X-ray. Do not start with X-ray, is always the wrong answer. If the exam or the screening is positive, for example, if neck pain, torticollis, gait disturbance, weakness, change in bowel, and bladder function, in this case, order flexion extension X-ray. If the X-ray is suspicious, order MRI to confirm the diagnosis.
Hello everyone, my name is Osama Naga. I'm very excited to let you know we are starting the 3 months live course on July 19. It's a good chance to join us and for good preparation for the pediatric board exam. The live course will include handout for all subjects, multiple choice questions from the question bank for each subject, more than 2,000 questions with explanation and board pearls. It is not too late to join us. Join us and work hard and pass your board exam with confidence. We'll see you there. Thank you.